have you noticed this thing?
What did?
Well, it seems like there are more and more people in American politics who used to lean left, but now they're like big voices on the right.
Right.
And a lot of them seem to be doing really well financially, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like maybe even better than before.
It's definitely something you see.
So that's kind of what we're looking into today.
Okay, cool.
We found this YouTube transcript about a bunch of people who made that kind of switch, started out on the left, went MAGA, and their income, well, according to this commentator anyway,
Yeah.
it went way up.
Interesting.
We're not here to like judge or anything or take sides politically.
Of course.
But we do want to understand like the money part of all this.
The financial side.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, makes sense.
Look at some specific examples and see what we can learn from it.
So what does this YouTube person say?
Well, they start off by talking about this trend of people who used to be on the left, especially in media or broadcasting,
Okay.
who now are like super outspoken on the right. And their main point seems to be that money is a big motivator.
Really?
Yeah, like maybe even the main reason for making the switch.
Huh.
And they even say you don't really see it the other way around.
What do you mean?
Like you don't see people leaving big jobs on the right
Right.
to become like progressive commentators.
This is getting richer.
Exactly. It just doesn't seem to happen as much.
Fascinating.
So then they get into some specific examples.
Okay, let's hear them.
The first one they talk about is Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, yeah, Tulsi Gabbard. I remember her.
Right. And it's important to remember, like the commentator points out, she was a Democrat.
Right.
Her views used to be pretty similar to Bernie Sanders, actually.
Wow, really?
So it was a pretty big change from where she started.
So what happened?
Well, according to her financial disclosure forms, which USA Today reported on,
Okay.
she made over $1.2 million last year.
Whoa. That's a lot of money.
As a MAGA surrogate.
MAGA's surrogate.
Basically, someone who publicly supports MAGA politicians and policies, often appears in media to promote those views.
It makes sense.
So where did all that money come from?
Yeah, good question.
Well, almost $300,000 was an advance for her book.
A book advance. Wow.
It's called For Love of Country, Leave the Democrat Party Behind.
That title's pretty clear about her new direction.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
It's interesting to think there's a market for books like that
You know, people who've broken with the left.
and want to tell their story.
Exactly.
Makes you wonder who's buying those books.
Right. Then there's almost $200,000 she got from being a Fox News contributor.
Fox News makes sense, a pretty right-leaning outlet.
Exactly. Plus almost $120,000 as a media contributor for the American Center for Law and Justice.
That's a pretty well-known conservative group, right?
Yeah, a legal advocacy group.
Interesting.
And get this, over $170,000 from more than a dozen speaking engagements.
Speaking engagements. Wow.
Including one at the Heritage Foundation.
The Heritage Foundation.
Yeah.
That's a very prominent conservative think tank.
Right. And that means they're willing to pay for her perspective.
Yeah, that says something.
And on top of all that, there's almost $415,000 from her businesses.
Her own businesses.
Yeah, Tulsi Media LLC, TOA Studios LLC, and her podcast, The Tulsi Gabbard Show.
So her income is really diversified now.
Yeah, and it's all grown a lot since she left the Democratic Party and went MAGA.
It's a pretty stark example of the potential value of voices.
That appealed to a certain audience.
Right, and who are willing to pay for it.
Yeah, and the commentator really highlights this contrast.
Between her past and her present.
Exactly, someone who used to be progressive
Right.
and is now making a lot of money as a right-wing figure.
Like a Trump surrogate, as they say.
It makes you think about the opportunities in different parts of the media.
And how some narratives are rewarded more than others.
So then the commentator moves on to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
RFK Jr. Interesting.
He's been in the news a lot lately.
Yeah, for all sorts of reasons.
But the commentator points out that he was a co-host of Ring of Fire.
Ring of Fire.
That YouTube channel where this transcript came from.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he used to be connected to the left.
So he's also made a pretty big switch.
Right, and the commentator says he now makes millions through his Children's Health Defense Fund.
Children's Health Defense. Interesting.
And they suggest that his message really resonates with a conservative audience these days.
Makes sense.
They even call him a MAGA nominee.
MAGA nominee.
Yeah, meaning he's aligned with that world.
It's interesting how the focus of organizations can change over time.
Right. And how they might find different audiences.
And maybe even get more financial support.
Right. It's all connected.
So we've got Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr.
And then the commentator brings up Pam Bondi.
Pam Bondi, I know that name.
Yeah, she was Donald Trump's pick for attorney general
So she's been on the right for a while.
for a long time.
But she's still made a lot of money recently.
Millions, actually.
Totally.
Through her connection to Trump's social media platform.
Truth Social.
Yep, at least $3 million, the commentator says.
Wow, how did that happen?
Well, it's a bit complicated.
Okay.
It involves the company that created Truth Social Digital World Acquisition Corp.
Okay.
Bondi got shares and warrants in that company.
Shares and warrants, what are those?
Shares are like owning a piece of the company.
Okay.
Warrants are like options to buy shares at a certain price later.
So it's like a bet on the company doing well.
Exactly. And she got those through an entity called Renatus LLC.
Interesting.
And those shares and warrants were later turned into stock in Trump Media after a merger.
So she's got a real financial stake in Trump's media venture.
And she also made money as Trump's lawyer before that.
So it's not just about switching sides.
Right.
It's also about being connected to the right people and the right projects.
And how long-term alignment can lead to big rewards.
Really puts things in perspective.
So the commentator ends on a pretty thought-provoking note.
Oh.
They wonder if selling your soul for a couple $1 million is really a good deal.
A raw deal, they call it.
Yeah, they even suggest checking back in with these folks in 4 years.
To see if they still feel like it was worth it.
Right, it makes you think about the potential costs.
Beyond just the financial side.
The personal and professional implications.
The long-term consequences.
It's a good point to consider.
So we've talked about Tulsi Gabbard.
Who's making a lot more money now.
Since becoming a big name on the right.
And Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Whose work seems to attract a more conservative audience now.
And Pam Bondi.
Who made a lot of money through her connection to Truth Social.
And all of this suggests that there are potential financial advantages.
To aligning with the MAGA movement.
Or becoming a key figure in it.
Right. And it shows that there's a market for certain kinds of political views.
And that some media ecosystems reward certain voices more than others.
So what do you think all this means?
What does it say about the connection between politics and money in media today?
Right. What are the motivations?
What are the long-term effects?
It's a lot to think about. It really is.
But hopefully this conversation has given you some food for thought.
And some things to keep an eye on as these trends continue.
And remember to look at things from different angles.
And get your information from lots of different sources.
So you can form your own informed opinions.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.
Stay curious.
And stay informed.
Bye.